Greetings, friend. I will show you how to solve this puzzle above below by Keenlux. I place the marks in the grid. I'll explain all the Sudoku tips, tricks, and strategies as I do it. Click on the link below if you want to try the puzzle yourself. And with that, it's solving time. So I will tell you I have solved this puzzle previously. I will show you how I did it. Please take a stab at it yourself. And you'll see this is a classic one-stepper by Keenlux. Keenlux, very good at creating creative, ingenious puzzles that require one step, think through it, and knock it out, and then they give you a gentle solve path the rest of the way. And one of the ways you can tell this is a one-stepper is if you try to do traditional solving and put in marks and sign notation, you won't be able to put anything in the grid. I was not able to put one digit in this grid, and so then I had to go more creative. And I've featured some other great Keenlux puzzles before, like Glitter Box. This reminds me a lot of Glitter Box. Also, What You Have Known, Triple Laser, all those similar techniques. If you're familiar with Keenlux style, then you should be able to figure out and solve this puzzle. Again, if you put it through a solver, it comes up with a bunch of forcing chains, very hard logic. That's why the beauty of this is being a human solver and being able to figure out how to solve it. So the key is to look on the outsides, right? You should look and see, okay, when I have these 4 digits here and these 4 digits here, you're placing restrictions in these rows and columns. So if I put a number down here, that number will have to appear up high. Same thing, if I put a number over here, that number will have to appear down there. It'll basically cancel out. So whatever you put right here can't be there for that reason, because this number would have to appear in this part of block 1 or this part of block 9, and so that number then will cancel out being able to be in this spot. So that's where you want to look on the outsides, and we'll notice what are the restricted candidates. And if you look right here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. What's left is 1, 2, 3, and 8. And Keenlux is sometimes put in, triple laser had to do with 1, 2s, and 3s. And so if you start seeing that, you realize, okay, there's something going on with the 8, and there's something going on with the 1, 2s, and 3s. Okay, what can this cell be? It can be 1, 2, or 3, but there's the 9. So 1, 2, 3. So there's a focus there, and then you want to look at this corner. What can this be? It looks like it can be 1, 2, 3, or 7. All right. So putting in that part, and let's clean up some of these restrictions here. That can't be a 2. That can't be a 1. Anything else? This can't be a 1. And this can't be an 8. It doesn't affect the solve that much. This can't be an 8. But I do want to be accurate with what we're putting there. The other key thing to look at is these 2 cells. There's a lot of restrictions on these 2 cells, because you have this 1, 4, 6, 7 going here, and then you got this 2, 5, 7, 4 here. So what can this one be? It can't be 1. It can be a 2 or 3. It can't be 4, 5, 6, 7. It can't be an 8. It can't be a 9. What can this one be? This can only be a 1 or a 3. So all the cells I filled out, these are the important ones you need to keep track of. Now this logic is kind of like an almost locked set. And it is. You're going to be dealing with multiple almost locked sets. Almost locked set, I've done a tutorial. I'll put a link to that at the end because I don't want you to cut off of this particular puzzle yet. And the idea is, if you look right here, you have 1, 2, 3 cells with 4 possible candidates. So it's almost locked. There's just 1 extra candidate. And the same thing here, 1, 2, 3, 4 cells with the 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 with 5 possible candidates. So anytime you see that, that's an almost locked set. This is an almost locked set with 4 cells. This is an almost locked set of 3 cells. Got it? So the idea here is this 8. This 8 can only be in these 3 cells, or it can be up here with these 4 cells. So that's the restriction, right? This is the, you can call it restricted common candidate. It can only be one or the other. So if it's in one of these, the other one will be a 1, 2, 3, make a triple. Same thing up here. So where does this put pressure? It puts pressure on this cell right here. And so what you have to do to make progress is go, well, where can the, what happens if you put the 8 here versus the 8 here? So if the 8's right here, you know that this is a 1, 2, 3 triple, right? Hopefully you can see that. That if the 8's right there, that would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And so this cell right here would have to be a 7, right? So let's see what happens if the 8's right here. So if you put the 8 right here, and I'll just kind of run through the logic with you. So you put the 8 right there. This now becomes your 1, 2, 3 triple, right? And then best way to kind of see this is let's do some color coding. And that's what I did with Glitterbox. And it works really well here. And I think that's what Keylux was trying to go for. So let's color code it. So this is a purple, this is an orange, and this is, let's make it a red. Actually, let's make it a blue. Okay? So we know, let's say this coordinates to, we don't know if it's a 1, 2, or 3, but it's one of the 3 digits. That's one of the 3 digits. That's one of the 3 digits. First thing you'll spot is that this purple has to be right here, right? Because the blue and the orange will be there. That has to be purple. Okay. That is purple. The other thing you'll know is then the purple has to be one of these 2 cells up there, right? Because it can't fit here or here. This has to be a purple. Well, how does that affect our grid? Well, if this is the purple and this is an orange, this has to be a 1, 2, or 3. That has to be blue. This has to be blue. Okay? And so then if this is blue and this is purple, this has to be orange. Do you understand that? Because it's got to be one of the 3 digits. Can't be a blue one. Can't be a purple one. It's got to be an orange one. And so if that's the case, you'll see here that purple, blue, orange all go inside here. So this cannot be a 1, 2, or 3. So whether the 8's here or the 8's here, this still has to be a 7. Hopefully you can see that. So using basic coloring to get through this grid, you can see that this has to be a 7 no matter where the 8 is placed in this grid. Cool, huh? All right, let me get rid of all this coloring, and hopefully you can see, and I can put the 7. But we're not quite done yet. We're not quite done yet. It doesn't, the puzzle doesn't immediately fall apart by putting the 7 there. Because now what you want to look at is where can a 5 be and where can the 6 be. Once you figure out a few more of these cells up here, then you're going to be able to solve the puzzle. So what can this cell be right here? So this can be a 1, 2, 3, or 6, right? 1, 2, 3, or 6. And what can this cell be? 1, 2, 3, or 5. Okay? So key. So same thing. Using the coloring, we can get rid of that because we don't know if this is 2, 3, or 8 or not. If this, the 8's right here, then we're going to kind of run through the same exercise, right? So let's say the 8's right here. If this is the 8, then we can do the same coloring exercise. Let's say that's purple, that's your yellow, and that's your blue. Okay? Purple, purple. Purple's got to be up here. And the same thing. Yellow, purple. This is going to be your blue. And then blue and purple. This is going to be your yellow. And so you'll see here, blue, yellow, and purple, this has to be a 5. And the same thing, purple, blue, yellow, this has to be a 6. So your 1, 2s, and 3s are restricted. Because you have this purple here and here, these have to be the other 2. That's how you can solve. If the 8's right there. We're like, well, okay, well, maybe the 8's not there. Maybe the 8's right here. So let's undo all this and put the 8 in the other spot. Okay, let's say the 8's right here, right? It's going to be in this spot. Same idea, right? This could be, we could still do purple here and make this one the yellow and make this one the blue because it has to be one of those 1, 2, 3s. So again, now you're going to kind of work up this way. So this is yellow and this is purple. That would have to be blue. So if this was the 8, that's blue, that's yellow, that's purple, and this one has to be blue as well, right? Because it can't be purple or yellow. This would still have to be a 5 because we have the naked triple there. So let me get that color coding correctly. It's 5, and help kind of see this. We'll get rid of that 8 because you have the naked triple. This is a 5, and now we don't know which one, if it's yellow or purple, that's going to be over here, but it doesn't really matter. Let's say, this is purple. If this is purple, then we know the purple has to be up there. And again, one of these purple, one of these blue, and to make this puzzle work, this would have to be yellow, right? Blue, yellow. So this could not be a 1, 2, or 3. This has to be a 6. And vice versa, if that happens to be yellow, the yellows have to be up there. And so this would have to be purple to make the puzzle work. And that's still going to be a 6 because you got the blue, the purple, and the yellow all going on there. So no matter what the 8 is down here, that's still a 5 and that's still a 6 no matter what. Cool, huh? I think the logic here is just phenomenal. And so once I've figured that out, super excited about this puzzle. Okay, so we know that's a 7. We know that this has to be a 5. That has to be a 6 no matter what. No matter what. And maybe, yes, is it some kind of mental bifurcation? It is. It has to do with almost locked sets, but this is the way to solve the puzzle. And this is the clearest way I saw to solve this. So now look at this. 6, 6. This has to be a 6 right there. And then this has to be a 6. And you're going to be able to solve the 6s pretty quickly, right? So there's all the 6s. And now let's move on with the rest of the puzzle solve. All right, 7, 7, 7's got to be there. Let's look at this. 1, 2, 3. What's left in this grid? You got a 1, 2, 3, 9, right? So I'll just mark this 2, 3, 9, and it looks like 1, 3, 9. And what's nice is now these 1s are a pointing pair, so this can't be a 1 anymore. Keep that in mind. So 1, 3. The ones, this will come in handy a little bit later on in the solve. So let's look on here. What else can we solve here? Now we got this 5, 5, and the 5. We can solve that for a 5. And then we can solve this for a 5. And you can see the 5s also get solved pretty quickly. And we're looking at the restrictions here. This could be a 2, 3, 8, 9. I don't have to mark that necessarily. And then you can see here 1 and 1. This has to be a 1. And 1 cuts across there, so 1's going to be in those spots. Okay. And then looking down this one, we got a 2, 3, 7, 9. And so this is the 3, 7. 2, 3, 7, 9. 2, 3, 9. 2, 3, 7. And 3, 7, 9. Okay, which restricts the 2s in one of those 2 spots, which makes sense. And you'll notice the 4s are restricted to these 2 spots right here. And so that means the 4 can't be there. You got this 4 and this 4, so this has to be a 4. And cut across, you can solve that for a 4. So we make some nice progress right there. I can actually get rid of this 8 because of this 8 right here. So this is 3, 4, 7. I'll just fill that out and kind of continue that naked triple right there. And now you're seeing, the 1, 2, 3, 8 is really getting restricted down here. I'll just put the 2, 3, 8 there real quick, kind of as a placeholder. And then if you look over here, working at 8B now, it can only be in this spot of column 1 because of that 8 right there. which means that can't be an 8 anymore. So 8, 8, 8's got to be one of these two spots. And we have kind of this 1, 2, 3 grid going on. You can see 2, 3, 2, 3. So this has to be your 1. Nice. And then 1, these are the pointing pairs of 1. So 1's got to be in one of those two spots right there. And what's left up here? This 2, 3 is now a naked pair. So we're looking at 4 and an 8. So I can put the 4 and an 8 right there. Nice. And if we come back down here, working a 1B in column 1, it can only be right here, right? Because of this 1. And so this would be a 2, 3. You can make that mark. And now that can't be a 1 anymore. So we know the 1s are now a pointing pair right here, right? 1s have to be one of those spots. That can't be a 1 anymore. That's got to be a 3. So that's going to be your 2. And that's going to be your 3. And now we're starting to solve around the peripheral here, right? And so we can get rid of, that's got to be your 9. And that's going to be your 1 right there. Nice. And so 2, so we got 3, 8. Let's get rid of that 2. But can we solve it a little further and get rid of these 3s here? And so now you're looking at getting rid of that 3. So you're looking kind of like a 1, 2, 8 going on. 3, 8. This is a 3, 8. And then you got the 2, 3 there. I can't solve just yet. But we'll keep making progress in the puzzle. Okay, so we can come across, we have a full house right here. This has to be your 9. Nice. And 9, 9, only one spot left for a 9 here in block 8. We solve that for a 9. 9's got to be in one of those two spots. Can't solve that just yet. But actually we can, because you see how this 3 is coming down? So that's your 3, and that's your 9, which is going to make this 2. Awesome, which makes this a 1. And we get rid of that. 1. You got the 2, 8, so the 2, 3, 8 there. So this can't be a 3 anymore. So you have a 3. One of these has to be a 3. So it makes this a 3. Easy way to see that. Get rid of that 3. And then we look down into here, and what we have, 2, 3, the cost here, 1, 1, 2, 8, 2, so that's a 1, 8, and 1, 2, 8, and we'll solve that here real quickly. And let's kind of work ourselves through the rest of this puzzle. So let's focus on column 3 here, working at 2B. It's got to be right there, which makes that a 9, which makes this a 3, and this is a 2. Nice. And so 2, 2, 2's got to be one of those two spots. And now the 9 and 9, so this has got to be your 9, and this is no longer a 3. And so this has to be your 3 right here. And then we have a 9, so a 3 and a 9, that's got to be your 7. And that's going to be your 2. So this is going to be your 3 right here. Here's your 8, here's your 2. There's your 8. Got rid of all that stuff on the outsides of the grid. And we're looking right here, and we only have left is a 2 and a 7. And now we got some full houses going on. So I know one of these has to be an 8. There's your 8. And here's your 7 right there. And now we're really close to the kind of the end of this. So always want to look at a full house first. Mark that as a 7. So here's your 4. And there's your 7. And then moving our way up, we got this 4. So that's got to be your 8. And that's got to be your 4. Try to tackle those marks first and kind of clean up that part of the grid. And then what's left here? We got an 8 and a 2 there. So that's got to be your 1. That's got to be your 8. And we got the 1, so this has to be a 1 here. And the last digit is a 3. Check out these other solving videos from my channel, including this puzzle from Keenlux and my ALS tutorial. Don't forget to buy me a coffee link. Thank you so much, Keenlux, for letting me feature your puzzles on channel. You're an awesome setter. Thank you so much for watching.